Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Penny Lane podcast. Today, Blayne is joined by ACTX Hammer to discuss knowing your setups, following trends, your trading style, and much more. Make sure you are subscribing to the Penny Lane podcast on YouTube and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. Today's show is brought to you by Aries, Last Bottle Wines, and Pennies Going In Raw.
The stock market is hotter than ever right now, and traders are taking advantage. But what does that mean for the people who still haven't started trading? The market can be a little intimidating at first, but you don't have to be alone in the learning experience. We at the Pennies Going In Raw podcast are here to help you. I'm Dan, and with my co-host Hugh Henney, we make the stock market a fun but informative experience for our listeners. We offer knowledge for all levels of traders, from beginners to those who do it full time. On PGIR, we discuss up-to-date news about the stock market and interview other traders who all started out just like us and made it big. You'll hear from Hugh and other multi-millionaire traders, founders and CEOs of companies, FinTwit superstars, and even professional athletes. Have you ever thought about investing your hard-earned cash but don't know where to start? Do you have money just sitting in your savings account collecting dust? We were all there once too. Listen to Pennies Going In Raw on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, AC, and welcome to the Penny Lane podcast. How are you?
I'm good, Blayne. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, you're calling me by my name? Should I call you by your name, or are we going with AC?
You can call me the Hammer.
Okay. All right, well, we are recording this on Friday, April 29th. How's your April been?
April has not treated me well, actually. April, it kind of reminds me of last April. April was just terrible. So no, I'm ready for May next week.
Well, so you know what's interesting about that? Someone else was just telling me, my good friend Pony was saying that she was like done for the month. She'd be back in May. You know, we're heading into summer. And that's like a little bit scary that we didn't have like a huge winter spring to sort of lead up to the dead season. IMHO.
Yeah, you know, we saw some glimpses of hope last month in March. It was decent, and then April came in and kind of wiped it all away. But I'm really hoping that we get some action here in the summer and leading into the midterms, but you never really know. So, and
okay. Well,
I don't know. Have you seen Spy today, by the way?
Yeah, Bloodbath.
Yeah.
Did you see I traded today, even though I swore to everybody that I wasn't going to?
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, had to do it. Can't stay away.
I know. I actually, on Wednesday, I said the same thing. I said, I'm not going to trade until May, which is on Monday. And I traded yesterday, I was green, and I traded today, and I was green.
Well, that's awesome. I think mine was a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy because, as you know, I've already told you I've got my reunion tonight, and I also had my best week ever, and I really wanted to walk into the reunion and be like, I'm a badass. And then
Well, you are
I
badass.
lost $1,000. So now I'm like, I'm a loser. But,
No.
you know, I still made $2,600 this week. And
Yeah, I was going to say, you've had some decent days this week.
yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it happens.
And I needed to sort of take a big loss. You know, like back in the day, I won't tell your trading history, but back in the day, listeners, AC and I have our own private Discord where we put our trades every day, and we've been doing that for 6 or 7 months. Feels like a long time.
Yeah, quite some time.
Back in the day when I was trading small caps, I'd have $1,500 losses or $2,000 losses, but those would be coupled with some $2,000 wins, but it was all over the place. But anyway, I've been very concerned, how am I going to take a big loss and be okay on this winning streak? And honestly, I'm in a great mood. So I think all in all, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we've gone through some ups and downs, definitely, as far as, green days, red days. And I mean, last year was a tough year, I think, for everybody. You know, if not that we were doing something wrong, but I think probably across the board, because you get breakouts and, they would just get knifed. And so anyways, I mean, we had our rough days but we're still here.
We're still here.
Yeah.
And, I really have to subscribe to the old, if you made it through 2021 and you're making it through 2022, then you're a great trader. Actually, we just interviewed PJ Matlock, and I was so trying to get the analogy across, but I didn't want to interrupt him. He's PJ. I didn't want to interrupt and be like, I want to say something. But we, as traders, it feels like, are very much experiencing the stair step up, elevator down, as far as like numbers of traders in the market goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and first of all, congratulations on that interview. Today's Friday, and I think it just came out. I think you released it today. I haven't had a chance to hear it, but that's awesome. I mean, everybody's kind of grown out from Atlas, and and have that kind of degree of separation from there. But yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, I think it's been tough for traders. I mean, you're trying to get things going, and when the market is the way it is, it's really easy to lose traders, and they kind of, it's an elevator down. So it's tough.
It's interesting. I think that you and I know each other better than any other trader, or maybe person, actually, that I've had on here. It's Dr. Bullshark and I recently had him on for a second time, and then just bogarted the interview to tell him how he trades. So I'm going to try not to do that with you because I know how you trade and I know how he trades. But it has been interesting as far as making friends on FinTwit that then transition into real life friends. And you're probably the only one who knows like the real truth of how badly I've struggled with this. And I would just say, for those of you listening, that it is important to find someone outside of like your family, your spouse, whatever it is, whoever it is in your real life that knows, like a trader friend who you can be super, super honest about the highs and the lows, because if you don't trade every day, it's hard, I think, to really, really know what it's like to be in the trenches. But I also think it's very beneficial to be honest with just one person. You don't have to be honest with the whole world, because some of it's really hard. But just the showing up and saying like, yep, today was really, really bad, and having that accountability, I know has been so helpful for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have to have that accountability, I feel like. But you also need that support if it's from, your family, your friends, if it's your spouse, family, whatever it is, trading friends online, if it's, whatever Discord you're in. But I think the accountability part is pretty key also, because, it doesn't have to be public, but if you don't want to put yourself out there, that's fine. But I still think that you need that one person to be accountable with, and be able to say like, look, I had a huge red day, and because you don't want to go out and tell everybody you had a huge red day, because you feel like crap.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you do need to get it off your chest, and and just unload it and then move on.
Yeah.
But no, you've been a fantastic friend. I mean, we've met a couple times in person, so I definitely, consider you as a real life friend. And, we've gone through some ups and downs, like we said. And, but yeah, it's, I think we'll be fine at the end.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And those, I don't know how well I explained that. We know what we're talking about because we're in the Discord, but for those of you listening, so AC and I have our own private Discord that's just the two of us. I'm looking at it right now. So there's a channel where each of us have rules, and then we have a channel for watch list, which we haven't been doing anymore because we don't trade the same thing, which we'll get into. A charting channel, which we used to do a lot more, don't as much, and then we just have a channel where we can chat, a channel where we put interesting education things that we find, and then our daily P&Ls. Yep. And so it's just like any regular Discord, except that it's just us. So it's a great way to also scroll back and see your progress. It's just, anyway, you can make one just for yourself, but I recommend having at least one other person in there with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's somewhere where you can say, I was just an idiot today. I took some dumb trades. I held too long, whatever it is. Or I had a fantastic day. You know, I played a setup perfectly, you know, and so it's really good to bounce these ideas off somebody else. If you know, so have that other person, and it really helps out a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So another, you are pretty famous in the Penny Lane podcast community. For those of you guys who are hearing weird noises on my side, I'm curling my hair. I'm doing a little double tasking here. I'm like, sure you're like, what is that?
Big night tonight.
Big night. It's my 20th high school reunion, so I have to be looking incredible. So you're famous on the Penny Lane podcast for multiple reasons, but I think the main reason is because you taught me how to use Thinkorswim. And I've told this story like a billion times, but just because everything always comes from my perspective, do you mind walking us down the path of what it was like meeting me and having me have a podcast and acting like I knew what I was talking about trading wise, and then being like, but I only trade on my phone?
Yeah, when we first started chatting, I loved your podcast and, everything that you were doing. And then I learned that you were trading on your phone.
Sure.
Yeah, and I said, well, we got to fix that. And it's, I guess I did start trading on my phone. My brother, and I could
What?
Yeah. I guess that's something I never told you.
What?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I'm
but it's
so glad to know this.
But it's kind of like everybody else did. Everybody started on Robinhood. And
Sure.
So, and that's on your phone. I don't even know if they have anything that's on the computer. My brother Austin was trying
I've met, right?
Yes, you did meet him.
You have a lot of brothers, so
Yeah, well, I have a couple.
Right.
Yeah,
Couple brothers.
a couple brothers, but you did meet Austin here in Houston, and so he was trying to get me to trade on Robinhood for the longest time, and I didn't know what Robinhood was. I said I didn't. I looked it up and I saw like class action suits and all these things, and I said, "Oh, I was like, it sounds like a scam." But finally, I came around and I started trading, and he was introducing me to like FinViz and showing me some of these watch lists and the gainers lists and all that. And one time it was so random. I just threw some money on one of the gainers, and it turns out that it popped that day. And I made probably, I can't remember what it was, maybe $500 or something. But
oh, hey-o.
yeah, and I was super excited about it. And I said, "Wow, what just happened?" Because I was trading large caps, I was kind of holding on. I wasn't doing anything serious. And
wait, you don't remember the ticker?
I do not. No.
But it was a large cap.
No, it was a small cap.
Okay.
Oh, I was sorry. Just to clarify, when I started on Robinhood, I was just throwing some money in some large caps, so it wasn't anything serious. But he showed me FinViz, and I saw the gainers list, and I threw some money on a small cap, and it just popped and I made a ton of money for what I had been trading, and
That's a ton of money for me today. That's a lot. $500 is a lot of money.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so I said, well, what just happened? And that kind of got the wheels turning in my mind. And I said, well, I didn't really understand it. And so I started looking into it, and that kind of led me on the journey toward, trading small caps and day trading small caps, which is what I do for listeners out there. But yeah, so, yeah, and I kind of, I kind of went on a rant there, and
We
lost your
allow
question.
rants. We love rants.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you got on. We were talking about you teaching me how to trade on my.
Oh,
Or I was
yeah.
on my
So
phone.
you were on your phone. So I started
Yeah.
trading on my phone in Robinhood. Got onto the computer. So after I went on that journey and kind of learned about small caps and all that, I went on, FinTwit, started learning about, all these people that, Atlas and Gary, and that's kind of what led me over to Brad and MTA. So, and we could talk about that a
Which
little
is
bit.
right, and that's how we met. For those of you who
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, Gary, not Gary, but Gary led me over to Brad, who I consider to be my mentor. Great guy, really, I would like to consider took me under his wing and taught me a lot of things. But, I went on, got TOS, learned everything. You know, I got all my setup, and so when I look back at it, I was like, what was I doing on Robinhood? Why was I trading on my phone? All these things. So
Okay, wait. Let me interrupt you there.
sure,
Just going on Thinkorswim and learning it, like, I feel like we sort of breezed over that because I wasn't trying to just be like a degen and trade on my phone. I also was on the Thinkorswim app because, I wanted to be a serious trader. I didn't want to be on Robinhood. I needed
you
a
had
real
it on your
broker.
phone, right?
Had it on my phone.
Yep.
And I opened it up on the computer, and it was the most intimidating. Like, it's not a Weeble.
Right.
And the interface isn't great looking. There's all sort of hurdles to learning Thinkorswim, and it's so interesting because it's now such second nature to me. I can't trade on my phone. I've got to have all my setups, and
Yep.
I've got my 3 screens, which you helped me get, and my processor and all the things. But it is sort of amazing to me that you. And I know this sounds silly because people do it all the time, but the fact that you opened it and then learned it on your own without anybody helping you, like, you obviously have a different mind than me because it was like climbing Mount Everest for me.
Yeah, I didn't learn it overnight, and it was definitely a process. I'm not gonna lie. I did paper trade on it for probably about a month, just to kind of learn it, understand it, all this. When I first downloaded it, I wanted to know everything about it. I started watching all the videos on it. I had one of the TOS people from TD Ameritrade on the phone with me. I probably had him on there for about an hour, walking me through things. I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So I took
Amazing.
I
They called me on Thinkorswim too, and they're like, "Let me privately walk you through how to use the
yeah,
platform." And I'm like,
exactly.
I'm good. Like, I don't want to be on the phone with you. But anyway, I've always found that I've always been very impressed by the
Well-
fact that you learned that as well as you did.
I appreciate that, but for anyone who's new and trying to transition to a platform, I would highly recommend that you take the time, step back, learn the platform, because I've tried to go on and just start trading on Webull. I don't know the platform. I don't know how to use it,
Yep.
and I can't trade on it.
Yep.
So so I just use TOS, and I have all my setups. And so it really takes a lot of the stress out of it, because you need to be able to know how to do things quickly, I guess, on here.
Sure.
If you're trading small caps, anyways.
I'm sure most people listening know, but just in case someone doesn't, could you walk people through what the active ladder is on Thinkorswim and how that is advantageous to the way that you and I trade?
Absolutely. Yeah, so the ladder is active trader, like you just said. And what it is it's basically it's basically a price list of your stock. And the good thing about that is, when you're trading and it's at a point or a level where you want to buy in, you can literally just click on the price that you want and buy the ask. Or if you're selling, you can just click on, on it and sell the bid, and you're in and out pretty much immediately. You don't have to go through any processes, and it's a good way to get in and out of things quickly without having to take multiple steps like you
All
would
right.
like you would on your phone.
Yes. Now, talk to us about being able to put a stop in at exactly your risk.
Yeah, absolutely. So once you enter the trade, you know the amount of the quantity of stock you have in that. You literally will just click on the ladder at the price that you want to stop out at. And what it does, you're not always gonna get that price, because what it does is it triggers a market sell. So you get whatever, if you're getting caught in a knife, you're going to get some slippage. But, it'll still get you out pretty much immediately. So.
I've been trading on the ladder with my options, and it's been because of the spreads on options. I was trading an option earlier this week that was very spready, meaning that I'm going to get just railed for this. I think it means that there's a lot of space between the bid and the ask on the option. I think
that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Whew. But I put a stop in, and sometimes that spread is so spready that since it's a market sell, it'll just close you out. I've done that several times. So I guess that's like the options version of slippage. But I was on my P&L, it said that I was up $30, but the trade was going against me and I wanted to get out, so I put a stop in at negative 50. That's not right. I wanted to put a stop in. I put a stop in at negative $50, and it just filled it as soon as I put that in, and that's happened a couple times. It's frustrating.
It's kind of hard to trade things when it's so spready, because you typically will buy the ask, but your bid is way down further, so you're immediately red. And if you decide to get out of the trade, you have to get out on the bid, so you're gonna get cut there. So when it's spready like that, what I'll typically try to do is I'll try to bid on it and get filled, and then obviously try to sell the ask. But but I'm always assuming I'm trying to get in where there's going to be some sort of breakout, so then I can, if it breaks out, then you can just get out and still be green. But yeah, I mean, if it goes wrong, then yeah, you're pretty much already red once you get in.
Do you remember like last week when I told you that I didn't understand risk reward? And we were all shocked by that.
Yeah.
I don't really, truly understand the bid and the ask. If I'm being fully honest with you, I've told Shark this 4 times this week. I'm like, it's an abstract term. I don't understand what the bid and the ask are. And he's like, yes, you do. And I'm like, I'm telling you I don't. I know that bid means the buy side. I know that ask is the sell side. I know that there is a difference between those numbers, and that difference is the spread.
Sure. Well, I think you can kind of think of it like an auction, maybe, where you have people who who have already have some stock and want to sell it. And so, say for example, I don't know, there's a stock at $5. You have somebody who owns it at $5, and they want to sell it at 5.25. And that would be the ask. And you have somebody who wants to buy it, but they don't want to buy it up at 5.25. They maybe want to buy it lower at 4.75. So, there's a place in the middle where they have to meet and they exchange stock, and so you're buying it from somebody, or you're selling it to somebody else at a specific price. So, I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but you have to kind of think about it as, where do I want to buy it? Where do I want to sell it? And looking at the ladder, you can see the level 2 and see where the bid and the ask is. And you're able to say, okay, well, somebody's trying to get out. There's a huge ask, or somebody's trying to buy a bunch of it and there's a big bid. So, I mean, somebody can come in and buy out that ask, and then, you could see a breakout. But, you really have to look at the level 2, look at the time and sales, and just really, try to learn that. And that helps a lot. But level 2, people can throw in fake bids and or maybe not fake, but they can throw in bids and asks, but they can also pull them. So the time and sales is really, what's actually gone through. So, and that's kind of a little bit more difficult to learn, but I think over time with screen time, people start to understand time and sales a little bit better, but it's something that's more difficult to learn, I feel like.
Yesterday I interviewed Katie of Money with Katie, and she has a podcast on the Morning Brew. And we had a fantastic conversation, but we got sort of off in the weeds on how basically we're all just walking through life operating knowing that we're gonna die, but you have to sort of like accept the fact that you're gonna die and internalize that, and then just go through life hoping you can sort of avoid any huge catastrophes. It's like it's knowing something but going forward anyway.
Yeah.
And I talk so much about how I'm this far into trading, but there are major things that I've had to just know exist but ignore in order to like move forward every day, because if I was someone who had to know every single thing about trading before I started, I never would have started.
Yeah.
And level 2 and time and sales are sort of two of those things of like, I know they exist, but I have got to come up with a system so that I can operate as if, they cannot affect me, because as you know, I'm such a technical trader that if I got hung up with like what's going on, I just couldn't move forward.
Well, I think you just want to ensure that you're not outsizing the stock, but it's not really something that you have to worry about now because you're just trading large caps. But in small caps, you can't go in larger than you should, because if you got to make sure that there are enough shares for you to get out of a position without having all that slippage,
Which is the float, yes.
The float, but you're not gonna, you're not gonna cover all the float. What I'm really talking about here is like the level 2 and the ladder. So, depending on how many shares you have, you don't want to kill the stock either if you're in too large. But at the same time, if you're trying to get a position in at a good price, you're slapping the ask, and you may not get filled on whatever, as many shares as you want to get filled on. So, but it's definitely a learning process. It's screen time, and you really have to it takes a while for people to get it. It took me a while, to start to understand it. And, but maybe it's something that I can try to go into a little bit later, because it is more technical, and it probably needs some sort of screen time with that. So,
irrational exuberance? When it comes to killer wine at drastically low prices, 30 to 70% off retail and free shipping, we live for that here at Last Bottle Wines. Whether you went long or short on GameStop, you'll need a glass of something terrifically tasty, and we've got the goods. Last Bottle is a daily wine site based in Napa, California. One wine every day at Black Swan event prices, usually 30 to 70% off until, poof, it's gone. Whether you're a pound-the-table type, think ultra-crisp, quaffable Sauvignon Blanc, or a dividend aristocrat, Burgundy, or Napa Cab, there simply is no better place to buy wine on the web, and they always have free shipping. Last Bottle has a deal just for Penny Lane listeners. Use promo code PENNY10 to save 10% on your next order with Last Bottle. The code is good for one order and one order only.
AC, do you remember that time when we both had our margin accounts and were just like, king of the hill, and we were in that like under $1 stock with the tiny float, and we were trying to get out of it, and we're like tanking the stock?
Yeah,
I don't remember. Pretty fun.
That was kind of silly, yeah. I don't even remember which one it was.
It was a China EDU thing or something.
Yeah.
Talk about past lives.
I know. Yeah, the penny stocks. I mean, you have to buy thousands and thousands of shares of them. That's funny. And I kind of feel like the spread is so large that it's hard to get in and out, because when you're looking at the ladder, it's just so far apart. So I've started to I have shied away from those now, and from the pennies and from the China stocks, but I'll play whatever is whatever's in play that day. If it has volume, if the price action is working, then I'll trade it, whatever it is. And that unfortunately includes meme stocks, but I haven't really played those much at all ever. But
but you love meme stocks.
My word, I swear I'm always red on meme day. Always. Oh, it's terrible.
There's nothing worse than when you come in all Eeyore it's a meme day, I'm not trading.
I know.
And
I try to trade, and it doesn't go well.
It doesn't go well.
Because because I didn't trade the memes. I'll trade something else, but the volume's on the memes, so yeah.
For those of you in MTA who are listening and think that AC is just I don't do a meme stock, I will have you know that he has traded Hood in the past. Just,
Thanks for calling me out there.
Yeah, put that in your hat just to remember. He has traded Hood. It's been a long time.
Yeah, but I only traded it for the memes.
Oh, well, obviously.
Yeah, I love memes in the Discords and all that.
You do.
Yeah.
You love a meme.
I love a good meme. Yeah, I
love a good meme. I just got a little supportive DM from my friend Singles and Doubles saying he saw that I had a bad day. God, I love FinTwit.
Yeah,
he's the best.
I love his pod that he did with you. Laying out all the rules and all that. I wish I was as disciplined as he is.
Totally, don't we all?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not. I mean, I have kind of a set of guidelines, but strict rules like that, I'm trying to work on it.
I think it's the way, the Yoda thing. I think it is the way, but
Yeah. I mean, I
it
think
took
as
him
long.
7 years.
Okay. Well,
So we have time.
yeah.
We're
We definitely
young
have
in
time.
our trading career. We are not young as far as FinTwit is concerned. We're both very
Yeah,
old, which
yeah.
is one of the things we bonded on early on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at least I know, the types of setups I like. I have kind of some boundaries, and I've focused on that, and I've tried to not, wander from that. So, I think once the market starts getting better, then, it's on. So,
Well, could we, so to go back a little bit into how we met very, very early in MTA, which is Brad Mullen's Discord. And you're an educator, I'm a mod in that room.
yeah.
And not only did you, okay, so to sort of finish up that earlier story, I learned how to use Thinkorswim because you made a deal with me that if I would watch the instructional videos, you would walk me through how to use the process. And even after making me that promise, it still took me like a month or 6 weeks to make myself watch the videos. But
Yeah.
we ultimately got there, and I only slightly fudged the truth about how many videos I watched. But we're done. We're over the hump now with that. But not only did you teach me how to use Thinkorswim, but you taught me this method of trading, which I think is Brad's method, that was your method.
Yeah.
That for those of I feel like people don't know this, and I feel like that because of all the DMs I get. But there was a method of trading in 2020 and early 2021 that so many penny stock and low float traders built their careers on, which was essentially waiting for some EMAs to cross and or hold. And that method, everyone was using it, everyone was banking on it, and that method has, over the last year, sort of failed us all. So, traders have had to evolve to new methods, flags, breakouts, level breaks, other things, T+2, things like that are working now. But for people who don't know, AC, could you give us just like a very Cliff's Notes version of what that strategy was and or is?
Yeah, it's basically just to see what the trend is on the stock. You want to know if the stock is trending up or it's trending down. I mean, stocks only go up or down. So you want
They
to
go sideways sometimes.
sometimes, but on candles, you're just up or down, and you make money when stocks go up, and you lose money when they go down. Unless you're short, then it's the opposite. So you want to be in a stock that's going up, right?
Uh-huh.
And so really, you want to, and it really is more looking at the longer term trend. So you probably want to look at, a larger time frame. If it's the daily, if it's a 4 hour, even if it's a 1 hour, you want to make sure that the stock's going up, because, you're going long. You want to make sure the stock's going up, and that's how you're going to make money. You don't want to buy stocks that are going down. Not like, what's her name? Kathy Woods, who keeps buying stuff.
A Kathy Wood dig right in the middle of the episode.
Bam, I dropped it, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, why, don't buy things that are going down. You buy things that are going up. So really, I just use the indicators as kind of to let me know, is this thing going up or is it going down? And when you have the indicators, the longer term indicators, because I use the 9 to 20 EMAs and I use the 50 and the 200 SMAs, to tell me what the stock's doing overall, a longer term trend. So, when you having, the 50 cross above the 200, that's a bullish cross. and so I don't really try to trade, that much with the crosses, but I know that it's going to be in an uptrend.
But there was a time where we did try to trade the 9 crossing over the 20, etc.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you study charts and you see where they're crossing, that indicates, and it obviously not all the time, but if you see that there's a change in trend from a downtrend to an uptrend, then you should probably keep an eye on that stock and see what it does and see if it sets up, if you have, any potential patterns, anything like that. But you definitely want to know your setups, your patterns, your breakouts. That's what's important, because I mean, even if you had no indicators, you should still be able to trade. If you're playing breakouts, if you're playing any setups, you see those even without indicators. Indicators are just guides to help you get in and out of trades, really.
Right.
Yeah. So, but it helps when you're looking at, if it's the yearly or the 4 hour, and you see that if you see the indicators shift, or indicate a change in trend, then that's something to look at, especially if you can catch it early. But yeah, you want to catch stocks that are going up.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, except me.
Try to
All
catch the bottom
puts all the time. I just want to grab the top,
you want to
ride
stuff
that
it.
trend down.
Well, you know what? It's a good time to do it.
It's a great time to be a puts trader. I'm
I wish I knew how to.
Sharks.
I wish I knew how to short and take puts right now.
It's
but I
so
don't.
great. I'm in Sharks Room, and my name in there. Long story, but my name is. You have to have shark in your name. So I was like, can you just make mine like Penny Shark? And he was like, no, that's taken, obviously. And I was like, okay, Penny Lane Shark. And he was like, okay, that's fine. And then Booch came in and started calling me Pinay, which he does in MTA as well. So everyone was calling me Pinay,
like the noodle.
Yeah, like the pasta. And then my friend Champagne turned that to Pinnifer. And then everyone started calling me Pinnifer Sharkiston, like Jennifer Aniston. So that was my name. Then I put in the middle, I love bear flags. So it's Pinnifer, I love bear flags, Sharkiston is I really like that name because there's really nothing I love more than a good bear flag.
Yeah, go with the trend, right?
Yeah, trend is your friend.
Trend is
all
your
of
friend.
these stupid sayings like trend is your friend and buy low, sell high, and all of these things that you hear when you start trading, and then you're like, those don't apply to me. You know what I mean? And then I feel like I'm coming on the other side, like, no, they all are true. And they all apply to me.
Yeah. I think, buy low, sell high, kind of, there's like an asterisk there. I like the saying buy high, sell higher. Because
you're a breakout trader.
Breakout trader, you want to buy things that are going up. And if it's going up, it should continue to go up. I mean, obviously you want to look at the charts and all that, but for me, the only time I buy when it's low is on a pullback.
Sure.
So, but
a lower high, if you will.
A lower high, exactly. So, I'm not really a bottom feeder. I try not to buy the absolute low. I want to ride the trend. And if the trend's going up, I'm long, I'm going up, and trying to make money on that. So,
what's so interesting is I have had to find my own way, obviously, as a trader. And Shark, nails a reversal. He's incredible at calling a reversal. I've never seen anything like it. And Happy Gilmore told me when I first joined Shark's Room, I like to use Shark's calls but find my own entry because it's always at the absolute bottom of a reversal or whatever. Yeah. And I am more of a breakout trader, and it's important to know who you are.
Yeah.
if you're a breakout trader and you're buying a reversal, you don't know how to handle that. You know,
Right.
it's like you're skiing and you're a green skier and you get on a black.
Yeah.
I'm on a tangent.
Yeah,
But-
no, that's 100% true because, you know, you always want to buy in a pullback, of course. You know, you don't want to buy at the very top, but you have to know what a pullback is. And,
Totally.
You know, I try to play that. You know, I only use the daily, the 5 minute, and I only use the 1 minute when it's super extended on a breakout. Then I know how to manage my position if it's super extended and it's, you know, broke out, super extended. I don't know. We're just out in La La Land, and you know, so I change over to the 1 minute, and that helps me manage the position. But I'm not buying up there. You know, I look at the levels, I see where the resistance is, and if there's a resistance break and it pushes through, then yeah, I'm looking for pullbacks to either add or enter a position. But when you're looking at larger time frames, you know, if it's the daily, you know, you want to ensure that you're playing a setup of some sort. Like, you know, I like inside bars. I mean, I like ascending triangles. I like 3-bar plays. Even a T2 is a really good setup. And you know, it depends on what you're looking for and where you're buying, but you want to make sure that you're buying, before the breakout. And if you see it, you got to be smart about the breakout and know when you should be buying, and especially if it's a pullback. And, you know, I look at the price action and the volume, but a good cup and handle on a larger time frame is, I remember we used to talk about cup and handle, and we used to kind of throw digs at it. Like, cup and handle isn't. Yeah, the cup and handle.
Stupidest setup.
It's the worst. It's not even a thing.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, but now I understand how to read a cup and handle. And, you know, there are certain things that you should look for in a cup and handle, like volatility contraction. So, you know, when you're getting the cup.
Wait. Am I talking to you, or did Broda come on the podcast?
Oh, is he okay?
Loves the volatility contraction.
Okay, fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, when you're looking at a cup and handle, you know, you have the U shape on the cup, and you get the pullback for the handle. And that, when it pulls back for the handle, that's volatility contraction, where your price contracts and your volume contracts. But then you're breaking.
Question about what contracts mean. Like, I know in English what the
pulls
word
back.
means,
It pulls back.
doesn't that kind of mean get tighter too?
It gets tighter. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So on the cup, you're not going to break out because it has to form the handle. So it's going to pull back, and, you know, if it holds that level for the handle, you know, that means that you're getting tighter and tighter on the price and on the volume. But when it goes back up to the top of the level of the cup, you want a volume spike to break out of that level. So, and that's a really powerful pattern. And we were knocking it before, but that's actually one of the more powerful patterns that I know of, because you get a lot of continuation out of those, especially when you're looking at a larger time frame. But, you know, as far as, I'm a day trader, I trade small caps, so I'd like to look at like T2s and ascending triangles and cup and handles all intraday. So, but if you can find something on a larger time frame, you're going to get a larger move. You know?
Question.
Yeah.
Do you know, or do you trade BRBs?
BRBs.
So
yeah, go
this
ahead.
is something I learned from Shark, and
Okay.
it's a breakout, retest, breakout.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's similar kind of to a cup and handle, except I guess it'd be like a level test and
Yeah.
then a retest and then a breakout. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with the BRB.
Absolutely. That is probably one of the better indicators to know the strength of a move, because you get the breakout and then it's going to come back and test that level. If it holds, that's where you have all the buyers step in and pushing it further up. So I love the retest because it tells me the strength of the stock, because if it fails that retest, then you're likely gonna see a dump or something,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I didn't know it was called the BRB.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
I learned a new term, and but yeah,
Ooh, I taught you something.
You did. You teach me a lot of things. You just don't know it.
This episode is sponsored by Aries, the newest trading broker offering both mobile and desktop trading. The app is built for retail traders by retail traders, and they welcome user feedback. Do you ever nail the entry on a trade but can't get filled? You won't need to worry about that anymore, because they are a self-clearing brokerage direct to exchange with TradeStation, and they are much faster than other brokerages that route through a clearinghouse. Aries is a multi-asset platform. You are able to trade stocks, options, futures, index options, crypto, and micros. You are also able to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies. Lastly, earn up to 5% interest on eligible crypto assets with no lockups. Aries has partners and offers many free tools such as advanced charting, TradingView with unlimited charting and indicators, free options flow, dark pool data, and many more tools on their roadmap to come. This is on average a $50 to $100 per month value, all for free. Finally, you can withdraw and deposit actual crypto and transfer to the US dollar and use it to trade any trading assets offered. Aries is the first brokerage to offer this. Please click the link in our bio or go to www.tradearies.com/PennyLane to sign up for an account today. All right. AC, we are a year into the podcast, and it's been a year of me trying to get you to come on. And first of all, thank you for finally agreeing to come on. I really appreciate it. I think you would agree it's gone better than you expected. You have had tons to talk about, and it's been extremely informative.
Well, congratulations on being the year in. You've done a lot of great things, and you've had a lot of just fantastic guests. So,
for sure. The community has been just incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
and so I'm really proud of you, what you've done with the podcast and all that. And yes, it's taken me a year to come on, and you finally got me on. But I love it. I can't wait to do another one.
Well, we have to because there's a lot of, there's not just anyone that I could have on the podcast and be like, I don't know what slap the ask means, because everybody knows what slap the ask means. I didn't know, but I actually do. I did understand it when you explained it, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm looking here at your. You know what I would really? It's not so. AC sent me an outline of what he would like to talk about before he would agree to come on the podcast, which is fantastic. I ignored the entire thing, not on the outline, but I would. Do you remember when we both had that big aha moment about 5-minute flag breaks into level breaks? And that was very, very eye-opening for me, because before that time, we were using levels, but we weren't great at levels. We weren't drawing them as well.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was such a game changer. Could you just walk me down sort of that path?
Yeah, I think that, when we were working together and, I wanted you to try to understand, what we were looking at first. And maybe that was my mistake for not discussing those things first. But yeah, levels are very important. And when I saw the light bulb go off, I was like, okay, this is good. You should be able to trade on support and resistance, and and supply and demand, and all of that. it's a process. People need to learn things one thing at a time. It's hard to learn 50 things at once,
Right.
and learn them well. And that's why, and the way that I think is really geared towards more of the newer trader. And when I talk about things, it's geared a little bit more towards them because, with Brad and MTA, it's really about teaching the newer trader. And so that's always kind of been my mindset because, Brad has always been, pay it forward. And that's kind of the way I see things. So I try to do things that way. But yeah, it's definitely a process and it's so hard to learn everything all at once. So you have to know that you need time to learn things. But levels are definitely a game changer because once you understand, where resistance is at and where your support is at, I mean, that can completely change your trading, I think. And yeah, I see you using it every day now. And when I see you have nice days, I get so happy for you, but it always doesn't work out. I mean, you can't control it,
Right.
You just use it and hopefully, that it goes well for you, but where you cut if it doesn't go for you, if it doesn't go your way.
Totally. Yeah, I felt like that was such a game changer for me. And hopefully the two of us are going to have long enough trading careers that we have like a million more of those. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
I think that's one of my favorite things in trading is, especially for me with my ADD, there are new things to discover constantly. And you just, as you go along, it's sort of like going along through life. You just pick up little things that you like, and then it all sort of becomes your life or your trading style or your trading journey. But I appreciate you teaching me that and me being like, I don't want to draw the levels. And you're like, just draw the levels.
Draw the levels.
And now, I've got all the levels on my chart, and it's kind of like, what was I doing before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been literally, and I've done some things, but this is literally the hardest thing I've probably had to do in my life, is learn how to trade. There's so much that goes into it, and so many different things, so many different elements, so many different, it's just never ending. But it all comes down to screen time, in my opinion. I feel like you need to be in front of the screen, watching what things do, but at the same time, you need to take it a step further and know what you're looking at, because you need to be able to identify the levels, you need to be able to identify the patterns, you need to be able to look at different time frames, you need to look at the volume, you need to look at the price action. There's so many different aspects of it that are so important that all have to come together in order for you to, in order for a trade to come together successfully. And that's been one of the hardest things for me to wrap my head around and grasp. But I think if you know what to look for and you just keep, repetitively looking at it and looking at those charts and seeing what they do when they break out. And that's what I did when I started. I went back and I would look at breakouts and say, what happened before it broke out? What did it do beforehand? And that's really what helped me the most. Obviously not all the setups are going to work all the time, but you want to increase your chances that they are going to work on a setup, on a pattern or whatever it is. And, if it doesn't work, cut it. Don't bag hold, just cut it. You take your loss and you just move on. Obviously, like everybody, you start out and you want to hold things longer because you're like confident or you have conviction in the trade. It's going to do it. It's going to happen. And the dip keeps on dipping, So,
Yep.
it's, you need to just cut it. And you can re-enter and see if it does, if it tries to break out again.
All right. Now, we've been through a hard. So, MTA just had the 1 year anniversary, and it
Yeah.
has been a year of ups and downs
Yep.
for us. I think for all traders, not just us. I just
Yeah.
know that we've been in the Discord. We've been, I know it's been a year of ups and downs for us.
Yep.
If I could offer you right now like a golden ticket and you could go back and wipe away the last year's trading from it's the end of April, if you could go back and wipe away everything you've done trading wise, but also everything you've learned, would you take the ticket?
No, because it's been such an invaluable learning experience going through this last year, because you're looking for these setups and these patterns and they're not always working. So yeah, you're going to be red and you're going to take some hits, but when the market comes back, when things start working again, that's when you make your money, and that's when you're going to be successful. I mean, I don't know if the market's trying to weed out retail traders or if it's just, it's a bear market, whatever it is. But when the time comes and things start working like they should, I want to have the knowledge that I've gained, in a bad market like 2021 and the start of 2022, because obviously you don't want to lose all your money doing it. If it's a bad market, if it's a bear market, don't go in heavy. Trade light, try to learn from it and try to understand what you're looking for. And so, but yeah, no, you really want to try to learn as much as you can from this type of market, so when it does turn around, you're ready for it.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I sure am glad to hear you say that. And honestly, there's no one else I'd rather have been in the trenches with over the past year. I think we've been a good team.
Yeah.
We're very different people. Very, very, very different people. But I do think we've both.
I like how you emphasize very.
I think we brought some good things to the table and sort of kept each other in the game in a very nice way. And I'm so appreciative to you for forcing me to learn how to trade on the computer and then paper trade for all that time, even though I was bitching and moaning about it. I didn't like it. And then also for sort of giving me the support and freedom to try to learn these options. Not freedom, just like you and I were trading together most days. And when I tried options, I do feel like we still trade together and we trade in very much a similar way, but we are also, as we learn on every single podcast, nobody can do this for you.
Yep.
We're all on an individual journey, and you can have friends and you can have discords and you can have groups of people, but sort of like at the end of your life, it's just you. Kind of like at the end of the day, trading it's not a team sport.
It's not. And, we've had, a great time. I've had a great time, and I appreciate your friendship, and, it's been fantastic up to this point. And, it always will be. But, it's hard. It's very hard trading with somebody else because, it's not a team sport. And, you have to be responsible for your own trades. And if you're taking somebody else's trade, you at least need to know why. Do you see the pattern? Do you see the setup? Do you know, your resistance? Do you know your demand? You need to at least understand why you're taking it, because if not, you're always just going to be taking calls, and that's how people blow up and lose money and all of that. And so, you can use other traders as confirmation. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing what I see? And or you see something different that I maybe didn't see, a head and shoulders, type of pattern. Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Thanks for pointing that out. But yeah, I mean, it's very hard to be successful when you're riding coattails, and so I'm glad we had the opportunity to exchange ideas and all that. I love doing that with you. But yeah, anybody in the world, I mean, you're responsible for your own buys and sells, and unfortunately, people, some people don't want to take responsibility for that, or they don't want to learn or take the time to learn, or it just takes a while for you to get it. But if you're in the learning process, for any newer folks, I mean, don't go in heavy. If you're learning, go in light and learn as you go. Because if you're trying to get rich quick, just go to the casino. I mean, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
If you're serious about it and you want to be a long-term trader, then you need to learn, and it's a process. You got to know it's going to take you a long time.
Yep. Yep. So get a good friend, learn things together. If you have someone else learning beside you, maybe you can cut off some of that learning curve. But
yeah,
I appreciate you so much, and I do want to say that last time I went to Houston, AC and I hung out with Dan together, and we got a tour of Zach Morris's apartment, and it was pretty awesome. I don't think I've told anyone that yet before, but we walked in, and Dan and some of the guys were showing us around, and
that was funny.
I was like, "Yeah, it's cool to be in here. Let me see the shoes." I'm like obsessed with sneakers, and it was the best sneaker collection I've ever seen. So props to Zach Morris for the sneakers.
I know, right? Yeah, he has a
sneakers.
great sneaker collection. Yeah, I think he wasn't even there. He was like in Cancun or something.
Oh yeah,
But,
yeah.
But,
but we did get to peep the sneakers.
Yeah, you're a sneaker buff, right?
Oh, love sneakers.
Yeah.
Love sneakers. I actually think that I just ordered a new set that may have arrived during this interview, and I'm going to wear them to the reunion if they did. They're like hot pink with some stars.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. But no, that was fun. Shout out to Dan. I mean, he was he's a great guy. And, he was nice enough to kind of show us around and all that.
Such a good host.
Yeah.
We got to see the whole building, which is
I
cool.
know.
If you guys are like me, like I'm looking at Dan's Instagram, just like, this is the life. Like that, he's out there doing it, and we got to live it for a night, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Dalton, he's a great guy as well. All those guys,
we love Dalton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dalton and I are Insta friends now. What a great guy.
Nice. Yeah. So, but anyways, you need to come back down to Houston and make another trip down here. I know you've been down here a few times, but yeah.
I got to meet Dan's dog now.
I didn't know he got a dog.
Yes, he got a tiny puppy named Mac, and I think
like Mattress Mac?
No, like McIntyre's, like the bar.
Oh, McIntyre's. Yeah, we went up there. Okay.
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah. I think the dog's like 2.5 pounds. So, you know, you and I both love a small dog. You have a small
for sure.
dog,
I
right?
do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been amazing. I got to go wow my high school class. Before I let you go, you're going to come back as a co-host now, aren't you? You liked it. You feel like you could co-host?
As a co-host. Oh, yeah. Wow. That's a big step.
It's a big step.
Sure. I will help you as much as I can. I've been just gun shy on this, but I'm here and I really enjoyed it, and I appreciate you wanting me to be on your show.
Loved it. All right. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you. All right. Have a good one. Bye.
By accessing this podcast, you acknowledge that the Penny Lane podcast makes no warranty, guarantee, or representation as to the accuracy or sufficiency of the information featured in this podcast. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. This podcast should not be considered professional or financial advice. Unless specifically stated otherwise, the Penny Lane podcast does not endorse, approve, recommend, or certify any information, product, process, service, or organization presented or mentioned in this podcast, and information from this podcast should not be referenced in any way to imply such approval or endorsement. The third-party materials or content of any third-party site referenced in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the opinions, standards, or policies of the Penny Lane podcast. The Penny Lane podcast assumes no responsibility or liability for the accuracy or completeness of the content contained in third-party materials or on third-party sites referenced in this podcast, or the compliance with applicable laws of such materials and or links referenced herein.